Alright, so welcome to part 5 of this Minimalist Composition series. In this part I'm just going to quickly talk about polyrhythms and also talk about how I want you to indicate your use of these different ideas on your score. So a polyrhythm is really simply two rhythms at the same time, but the qualifying factor here is that those two rhythms need to sum up to a different number of beats. So if I've got a 2-beat pattern and a 4-beat pattern at the same time, then that's not a polyrhythm, because that 2-beat pattern and that 4-beat pattern, by the time I've repeated that twice, that's going to be 4 beats. So that's not a polyrhythm. But if I have a 2-beat pattern and a 5-beat pattern, for example, then that is a polyrhythm. So we're looking for two different rhythms on top of each other, and they shouldn't sum up together in a really simple way. Now I've got a really good example of this in my piece here. So at this point right here, when we've been adding notes into our opening melody, I'm not in polyrhythm because I've got 2-beat phrase, and underneath that, notice that lasts for 1 beat, right? So that's not a polyrhythm. But as soon as I get to the end of that bar, here I've got a 5-quaver phrase on top of a 1-beat phrase. And you'll notice that they get out of sync. So this one starts together, they start together here, but then when the pattern repeats a second time, notice that they don't start together here, and that's because it's a polyrhythm. So if I just play that little section for you. And then I'm out of polyrhythm as soon as I add that extra note, and I've got 6 quavers. Alright, because notice they sum up in a really simple way. So I've got a 3-beat pattern on top of a 1-beat pattern. 6 quavers on top of 2 quavers. Alright, so that's what polyrhythm is. Now, how do I want you to indicate this on your score? Because obviously you need to do these things as you go through and create your piece. What I want you to do is to find those spots where you have used polyrhythms, augmentation and diminution, melodic transformation, and addition and subtraction. And I want you to indicate that on the score. Now, the quickest way to do that is to select the note where that is happening, and under text, you want to add a style of text. And that particular style is a technique. So and this particular little bit here is addition. So I'm just going to write the word addition. Here I've got polyrhythm, and I'll put that over exactly where that happens. I've got my hit points being shown. I've already got augmentation and diminution written in. And yeah, so that's what I'd like you to do, to put those things in. Now, you'll also notice that I've made a couple of other tiny little changes since we last looked at this. I've also just neatened up the ending, so that it finishes more or less with the piece of the actual bit of film. I'll just play the very ending for you. And that's where the film finishes. Okay, so that finishes off this part, and in our next part we'll look at exporting the video and putting it all together using iMovie. Good luck with that final bit.